Hello everybody, it's Kim Wilson here, and I have been crafting for the last few minutes, trying to get some samples to show you. We have the big once a year stamp sale coming up tomorrow, Thursday, so I wanted to show you some of my recommendations for some great kind of standalone stamp sets to invest in that you can use over and over again, and are great staples to have in your repertoire, your collection of stamps for all occasions. So what I did for today, for this video, is I grabbed some of these large sentiment stamps that are kind of standalone ones, one sentiment in each case. I have the happy birthday, the thank you, and there's a congrats that's on my wish list for my shopping list for tomorrow. And then there's this new Merry Christmas with this beautiful font that is in the new mini catalog. So I just wanted to show you a couple quick things to do with some of these larger sets, which we might not want to invest in at full price, but hey, when they're 15% off, yeah, I'm going to put the last one on my list, so you might want to grab some as well. And so let me just show you the Merry Christmas in the mini catalog. So really pretty stamp set, and I loved this sample in the book where they have all the little gems around on the Merry Christmas. So pretty, and it's just such a simple card. And this is one too, A Child is Born. I'm getting that one tomorrow because I don't have that one yet. And I might grab some of these other Christmas ones as well. But I did want to show you a couple of things that I did with it. So I think these large ones are great for embossing. So I grabbed my Wow embossing powders, and I grabbed the metallic collection, and I played with it. This card right here, I just stamped the Merry Christmas in garden green to match the paper. I also grabbed some of my 6x6 papers, because when you're crafting in a small space or you just want to do something quick, they're so fun to grab. So I actually used 3 different papers today on these projects. I used Beautiful Gallery and Splendid Autumn, which is from last year, but it's still available, still up there in the store. And this new one, which I've used a lot of already, Christmas Tags and More. So the Christmas Tags and More is really fun because it has the tags, so you can cut those out and use them in tags. And then it has these 2 pieces, which I used today, which have card front plus a strip that you can use on another project, and then this fun plaid piece, and as well as all these little die cut pieces that you can use in your project. So this is in the quick and easy section of the mini catalog because it is quick and easy. So you can see all I did here was mount it on a card base and stamp the Merry Christmas, and then I added all these little pearls. So these are still available. These are from last year, but still available, and it's perfect for these little trios of gems, perfect for this project. I think these are called Cherry Cobbler and Pearl Adhesive Backed Berries. So really cute. And then I did for the gallery, I used gold embossing and the happy birthday. You can see how shiny that is, just right on the designer series paper. These beautiful hand-drawn papers by our Stampin' Up! Artists are just so beautiful. You hate to cover them up with anything. So those are ready to put on card bases, as is the ones from the Splendid Autumn. I did those in copper. So I wanted to show you a quick tip here on how to tie the twine, because I have trouble with the twine with fat fingers. It is hard to get these little bows. So I discovered today that if I put a little glue dot where I want to tie the bow, and I'm using my paper pumpkin glue dots, but you can use the regular ones as well, just for the sake of tying it, because you know how you need a 3rd finger? Well, that glue dot acts as your 3rd finger when you're tying your bow, so you can just make your loops and not worry about keeping it tight. Look at that. I mean, it pulled off the glue dot right at the end there, but I got it tied tightly before that glue dot pulled off. And then I can just adjust my little loops there and cut off the end, and I've got my twine across there. Or this is actually linen thread. So the linen thread, I like to do a double or a triple loop because it's a little more substantial that way. But look at how pretty that is on the card. So when you're cutting your card base on a card like that, you'll want to cut it hot dog style so that you're able to tie that loop around it. And oh, I have some, what I have here, Cajun Craze and Gold Dots. So these are a newer embellishment. So we'll throw a couple of those on just to top it off because the colors go so nicely with that gold in there. So put a few on there, and that card is done. So I'm going to finish up all the rest of them here after I'm done with the video. But I did want to mention with the stamp sale tomorrow, all stamps except for Last Chance will be 15% off. And it only happens once a year they do this sale. So this includes the mini catalog, the online exclusives, the main annual catalog. So it's a great chance to go through and grab those stamp sets that you've had your eye on that maybe you didn't want to spend full price on, or those I tend to go for the bundles and the suites because everything matches, but there's some great standalone stamp sets that I wanted to have just in my collection for everyday occasions. And also, this is the first time they've ever done this, but they are including in the sale all the stamp tools. So when you go to the stamp category in the store, the top line says stamp tools. Those are all included in the sale. Wow. So grab your blocks that you need. And for these large ones, some of them kind of fit on this size block, but you're getting towards the curved edge here. And so I really like to use this large one when I have a large image, a large stamp, and then I can get a nice even pressure down. And when you're doing this embossing on these large, they're kind of bold stamps, make sure you kind of season the stamp first before you use it. Rub it on your cleanup pad, which is also on sale with your stamp cleaner, and get that surface ready to take ink, because sometimes the ink will bead up, and this one I didn't do that, and you can see the ink did bead up a little bit. If the ink, and then when you're stamping, especially with the Versamark, make sure you tap, tap, tap many times to get lots of ink on there without smooshing, but tap to get lots of ink on there. And then when you stamp, hold it down and make sure you press evenly around it, and hold it down for a little bit just so that ink will seep into the paper. If you are using the regular colored ink pads and you do still get blotchiness, take your block again and just rub it across your ink pad just to push that ink down into the pad, because that means that your ink pad has a little too much ink on the surface. And if you have just the opposite problem and you get not enough ink, or it's kind of uneven, there's a couple of options, a couple possibilities. One is you don't have enough ink, so you can re-ink your ink pad. Another is your surface is a little uneven, and especially with the photopolymer stamps, you might want to grab a Pierce mat to put underneath your paper so that when you're stamping, you have that nice firm surface, but it still has a little give to it, like you would if you were using a cling stamp that has that little foam pad in it. So I hope that those tips are helpful and that you enjoy shopping tomorrow and picking out your favorite things. I'll be back tomorrow, or maybe even later today, with some more pictures of some of my favorites. And there's my store. You can just go to Stampin'Up.com and choose me as your demonstrator if you don't have one. And I guess that's it. We'll hopefully get some great bargains tomorrow. Happy crafting.